Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and today I'm bringing you the 20 Crochet Questions Tag. Our friends KK and Kristen over at KK Crochet tagged me in this about 3 weeks ago and I haven't had the opportunity to put it together, but today I made sure that I did. I've got my clipboard ready with all the questions, so I will be referring to that, and I do have some props to go along with some of my answers. So, you might have something that you want to crochet along while you're watching this video. Thank you so much for hanging out and wanting to hear my answers. I also do have 2 other videos that I'll try to link in the description box for any of our new yarny friends, or some of you that have been here for a while and may not remember seeing them. I've done one that's called Never Have I Ever, that tag, and that's from about a year ago. And then I also did the Ask Me Anything, and that was from about a year ago. And that also included questions, not just crochet related, but they were Coco related and life related. So, if you haven't seen those, please go ahead and do so. They were a lot of fun to make. Very different backgrounds and, Coco features in them as well. So it might be something you enjoy. But for today, I've got 20 questions to get through. So I'm not going to, talk about the past any longer, but I will power on with what we have at hand today. So the very first questions asks, how old were you when you learnt to crochet? Now, the most recent time that I'm going to refer to is when I really got serious about crochet, and that was about 4 years ago. So I was actually 55 years old. Now I learned from YouTube. It was coming to the end of the lockdown, and I think I may have mentioned it before. I had perfected my art in cookie making, and my family said, look, summer is coming soon. We're going to be released into the wild again and we want our bikini bodies back, and they banned me from making cookies, although I still make them on occasion and I do enjoy them. So I needed something to do, and I thought, I've always wanted to crochet. I had no one to teach me. There wasn't an opportunity to go anywhere and learn. So of course YouTube saved the day. So I learned off YouTube, and the first YouTube tutorials that I watched were by Bella Coco, and she did an amazing job. So I'm very grateful for YouTube and for giving me the gift of crochet. So as I said, seriously, about 4 years ago, but I do have a memory when I was about 11 or 12 years old, my aunt used to crochet, and together, and I don't know how much input I had in it, I did make, we made a beautiful pink shoulder bag. I remember we crocheted one, we had big flowers on it. So it was very 60s vibe, and I wish I had it, but of course I don't. But that's okay. So that's the answer to the very first question. Tick. Oh, done. Now, number 2, what was the first thing you remember crocheting? Now, I remember this very vividly, and I have shared this with you before, but I'm going to do so again. The very first thing I crocheted was a granny square blanket, and I've got it here, and I love this so much. It's because every single one of my family members has used it to keep them warm. Now, it is huge, guys. It fits on a queen size bed, and it's made up of various sizes of granny squares. Here they are here, and some were solid. So basically I used these 3 primary colors and the silvery gray color to join them all. I was clueless as to what to do, and I'm very grateful for T. She is one of the most beautiful humans on earth, and she was working at Spotlight at the time, and I said to her, I want to make a granny square blanket. She said, okay, not knowing that I'd never made one before, and I asked her to help me choose a hook and some yarn. So she said that the best thing to use was this Spot Saver yarn, and this is why I love Spot Saver so much. It is a USA style yarn. It's about a 10 ply, and she did say that I should use a 6mm hook or a 5mm hook with it. And from memory, guys, because I haven't written it down, I'm pretty sure I used a 5mm hook for this one. But since then, I use a 6mm hook with all of my 10 ply yarn generally. So that was my very first project. And as I said, I had no idea what I was doing. It did take me 3 months to make. I was so determined to get it done, so dedicated to the task of learning to crochet. And there it is. Like I said, each and every one in my family has used this blanket, which is so awesome. So number 2 done. Number 3, the make that you are most proud of and why. Now, I love all my projects. I know the question is what you love, but I'm proud of everything that I make because, you know, it's made with love and joy, and it's gifted with love and joy. And even the things that, you know, don't turn out right or perfect, they're a learning curve. But the thing I'm very proud of, one of them, is this mosaic blanket. And most of you that have been around for a while would have seen it already. So basically, here it is here, guys. That's just some of the panels. It is 9 panels. There's more on this side. Very hard to hold up, but you get the idea. So basically, this one is made with, again, Spot Saver in the light blue and the white. The panels are 9 different panels, and they were joined together. And I will put the YouTube channel, because I can't say the name, I'm sorry, that I followed. It was definitely a labor of love, and I was trying to hide the project as I was making it because it was for my partner Steve's birthday. And the reason why I'm very proud of this is I made this very, very early in my crocheting journey. So I thought that it was very challenging. I also did an envelope border, which is something which, if any of you have attempted one, you know the amount of work that goes in it. And I must say that I am proud of the back as well. It is very, very neat. Well, I think so anyway. So that's a project, as I said, I tried on very early in my crochet journey, and that is why I'm very proud of it, because as much as I was terrified of starting it, I learned very quickly that if you follow the instructions, that with crochet, you can make anything. I always say, if you can chain, single crochet, double crochet, and slip stitch, you can pretty much make anything, right, guys? Well, I think so anyway. I'm sure most of you agree. So now number 4, we're up to question 4. What is the oldest yarn in your stash? Now, I would have said a ball of Spot Saver, because that's what I started off with, right, guys? But I have to show you this bag that was gifted to me last year, and some of you came along from the journey, and if you haven't, go and watch those videos. I had so much fun. The market prep, the day of markets, and the after, you know, the roundup of the markets. I did a market store last year at Christmas time, and I'll just reach over here, and this lovely, lovely lady came past, and she saw the blankets that I had hanging up, and they were just for display, not for sale, just to attract people. And she wanted me to show her how to start a granny square. Now, of course, I was so happy to do so, but she came back with a bag of yarn, and here it is here, guys. Now, truth be told, I haven't really looked at it since, but I did open it up, and I tell you what, there are some yarns in here that I have never ever seen these labels in my visits around, you know, the spotlight stores and online. But what I should have done, and I wish I had thought of it before talking to you now, is actually Google these and see how old they actually are. So I might just do that. This one is way too fluffy for me. It's got some mohair in it. But look at that, there's about 2 or 3 of those. So I would say that they are the oldest yarns in my stash. Even though I didn't purchase them, they were given to me because this lovely lady just insisted, and I couldn't say no. So she was very, very kind and generous to do that. Now, question number 5. Are you a knife or pencil grip when you hold your crochet hook? Some of you might just hold your crochet hook and not know what those terms mean, because I certainly didn't. I'm actually a pencil grip, but on occasion, so 90% of my crochet is done pencil grip, but on occasion, if I'm holding, and I don't have, oh, I do actually, pardon me, out of focus, like if I have a 10mm hook, look how chunky this one is, or bigger, or a Tunisian crochet hook, I generally go to knife hold because I'm pulling at the yarn if it's a thicker weight of yarn. Or the Tunisian crochet, I found that it balances for me if I'm holding it like a knife grip. So there you go, guys. 90% of the time, my answer would definitely be knife grip, and that's my go-to. But if, beg your pardon, pencil grip 90% of the time, but I can work knife grip as well, which I never thought that was a thing, and I never thought that would apply to me, but it certainly does. So that was an interesting question, I thought. Now, number 6. Do you prefer Boye or Susan Bates style hooks? To tell you the truth, I don't really know the difference. I think the Boye are more rounded and maybe the Susan Bates is more pointy. I don't actually own a Susan Bates hook, but I do have some Boye hooks, and I meant to bring up my little pack. A lot of people might have this off Amazon. It's pink zipped up little opens like this little pouch thing, and it's got all the hooks in there, the very very thin ones that are the metal, and then the colored Boye hooks. And that was my first real set that I purchased, other than the first hook that I bought at Spotlight, and that was a Boye as well. And you know, I do have a soft spot for all of them. And recently I did buy some Boye hooks as well from Spotlight, the ones with the ergonomic handle. The other ones are just, you know, the metal. So I'm going to answer that my preference would be Boye hooks. Very big story to tell you that. So number 7, what is your favorite brand of hooks? Well, that was a very quick and easy one for me. My favorite brand of hooks is Clover Amours. I happen to have a couple here for you. And although I've lost 2 of my favorite sizes, and it's very hard to get the 6mm hook, the chocolate colored one, I look on Amazon all the time, and the 3.5mm one. I haven't misplaced them, not lost them. I'm sure they will turn up one day because they're somewhere in this house. But Clover Amours, definitely my favorite brand of hooks. Now this is a good one too. Your favorite hook size or range of sizes. I actually do have a go-to of hook sizes. For a very long time it was just the 6mm hook. I used to make beanies and blankets and wearables just using this hook because I would mainly use the Spot Saver yarn. Then when I got a bit more adventurous and I discovered so much yarn out there, the bulkier yarns like the velvet yarns and the blanket yarns, absolutely love them. And the polyester chenille yarns, you know, for the baby blankets that I make. Well, then I started, and of course, you know, you need to go up in hook size with the bigger yarns. I don't tend to use the thinner weight yarns, so I very rarely use the smaller hooks. But definitely the 6, 7, and 8mm are 100% go-tos, and this 5mm hook, I absolutely love it because all my 8-ply or DK weight yarn is the one that I use for those. So these are the 4 hooks that I would say the range. So 5, 6, 7, and 8 is my favorite range of hook sizes. So let's tick that one. I already did. Now number 9. Favorite weight of yarn. Well, this was a hard one because I have fallen in love with the blanket yarn. Absolutely love it, and it is one of my favorite yarns to work with. But if I have to choose a favorite, it's going to be the 10-ply or worsted or Aran weight. I think they're all the right terms for them. The weight yarn. So, you know, like I've got like all of this stuff here. So the basic yarn that I've been using from the very, very beginning because I'm so familiar with it and I know how to apply it very easily. For example, to wearables or blankets or even household items like cushions, baskets. You know, you can actually use more than one as well to make a bigger basket, but that's another story. So like you can even make amigurumi with it because I don't mind big size, like larger amigurumis. So I would definitely say that the 10-ply, so like my Spot Saver USA style, is my favorite weight of yarn. Now favorite fiber, I almost went with polyester, but I'm going to go with acrylic. Reason being, it's non-allergenic, easy to care for, like you just wash and dry, and it's very accessible price wise. I feel you can get from like the higher end acrylic, which is like your non-pilling one, down to the workhorse style ones and everything in between. So I think I will definitely go with my favorite fiber being acrylic yarn. Now number 11. Feature one of your favorite yarns. Okay, no surprise to any of you that it's going to be a USA Spot Saver yarn, and here it is here. But I absolutely love this. This is called Prince, and it's the tweed. Look at how gorgeous that is. I'm not sure if you can see the little flecks in there. There's like a caramel color and chocolate, and it's a cream base, And I love this yarn. I have made beanies for the whole family and some friends, blankets for family and friends using this, jumpers using this. I just think it's a beautiful classic color, and I think it can be applied to so many different projects. So I have to say that that is one of my favorite yarns. Now, number 12 asks, what is your favorite crochet item to make? This won't be a surprise to any of you guys. The answer is beanies. Of course it is. They're quick and easy to make, or you can make more complex designs, which is also fun and challenging. And I love them as a palette cleanser between bigger projects. Absolutely love them. Or if someone says, you know, they're coming over and they've seen a beanie that they like, I know that in a couple of hours I could really be able to crochet a very basic beanie. That's where I'm going with that. So I absolutely love that. And I actually have the first beanie that I made here for you. It's made with the most scratchiest acrylic yarn, and I would never use it again for this. But let me tell you, I was so proud of this. And I even managed to do my little ribbing down there, the front post and the back posts. And it's just very, very basic double crochets and, you know, the usual circles where you increase by how many is it, 10 stitches each row or something like that. Anyway, very basic. So that's my very first one. I can't believe that I used variegated yarn, which I thought would have been a little bit challenging, you know, reflecting back in time, you know, instead of a solid color. But since then, I'll just show you some of my beanies that I have around, and I absolutely love this one as well. It's got such a beautiful pattern in it. And then we've got this very basic one for breast cancer with the little ribbons there. This one was one, so this was a Bag O Day pattern, I believe. This is the Yarn Addict pattern, which I made recently. Again, another one that I absolutely love. This is one that I've just made from Expression Fiber Arts. Again, very, very basic. And then I've made some with pom-poms and without pom-poms. This is the one that was from the Hobie advent calendar last year, 2023. So there's a pom-pom that you can remove on that one. And then I made this one part of the Ogo. How many Ogos does it take to crochet ... And I used a whole Ogo, including the pom-pom. This one doesn't remove, and I think it's one of the world's biggest pom-poms, but I actually really like this beanie. It's got such a nice fit. And just yesterday, so very, very recently, I made a little tiny baby beanie, which I absolutely love. It's got the cross double crochets in it, which is going to its forever home very, very soon. Absolutely love this one. And this is MJ's Off the Hook design. So I will link all of those creators down in the description box, because they deserve credit for all their hard work. So that's brilliant. So yes, guys, beanies for all those reasons. And let me tell you, I wish I had counted how many beanies I've made. If I guesstimate 100, I don't think I'd be far off, which is pretty awesome. And I'm happy to make one right now if you want me to. Absolutely love them. Now, number 13, which crochet item do you least enjoy to make? Okay, it's not an actual item, but I am going to answer the question. Anything with a deadline, right, guys? I'm sure you all relate, only because I start so many projects in between because I just want to make them all. Our crochet to-do list is miles and miles long, right, guys? And that's the only reason why I get a little bit frustrated when I have a, not frustrated, but like feel like I'm constricted when I have a deadline. But we all need deadlines, otherwise nothing would get finished, right? So that's my answer to number 13. Now, number 14, which is the crochet item you're yet to make? Now, the answer is a dress. About maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw a YouTube tutorial on the YouTube channel Just Vintage Crochet. She's got some amazing things on there and she's lovely. And it was the 1969 Juliet dress, and I fell in love with it. When I saw it, I can imagine so many of the, you know, young ladies in my family wearing it. I just wish that I could. And if I was to make it for me, I would definitely make it a long maxi dress, because this one is like a not a mini, but like a mid to the knee one. But that's what I would love to make, a dress, because that's something I have not made. I've made baby dresses, little girl dresses, but not an adult size dress. I think that would be a huge challenge, right? Especially for me. Number 15, describe your color palette. Okay, now you're all going to say, we know it's purple. The truth is I love purple, all shades of purple. And I also love all colors. Like I would never restrict myself from making a project depending on the color. Like if someone said, let's say you have to use these colors to create this awesome project, I'd have no hesitation to do so. But if I was to choose something for me, especially for a wearable, more so for a wearable than like a blanket or an accessory, I guess with accessories it'd be easier for me, like a headband or a beanie or a scarf. But if you came to like a dress or a jumper or a cardigan, something more substantial, not just for decoration, I would like to, use black, like the blues, like the navy even, or some nice royal blues, and definitely brown, tan, cream. I love all those colors. So for myself, if I was making something, that's what I would use. I guess is that a color palette, guys? I think so. Or did we have to say summer, winter, autumn, spring, cool or warm? I don't know, but they're the colors that I like. Now 16, what is your favorite crochet hack? Absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, always use a stitch marker to mark or identify your first and last stitch when you're crocheting in rows, or even amigurumi in rounds, or anything in rounds or rows. I cannot create without a stitch marker because I can't keep track otherwise. So that's the one thing that I would highly recommend, that you have a stitch marker. It doesn't matter if it's a piece of yarn, paper clip, a safety pin, or any stitch marker that you can purchase, whether it's fancy or just very, very basic. A stitch marker, actually stitch markers, you'll need a few in your collection. So that's 16. Number 17, feature a pattern designer that you like and highlight one of their patterns. Okay, this was very hard to choose just one, because I really like and love a lot of designers, and for different reasons. You have different, for example, mainly I go to YouTube tutorials, and they're the designers that I use, the creators, and I do also have books. But I have made a lot of crystals patterns from Boye, including beanies and cowls, wearables. So I definitely am going to say Boye. And I want to show you I think this is the first shawl that I made, and I absolutely love this shawl. It is one of her patterns. Look how gorgeous it is, guys. I even put the pom-poms at the bottom. I don't think they were part of her design, but I love this shawl, and everybody at work, when I wear it, even to this very day after seeing it, a few years in a row, they compliment me on it and they love to wear it. So it's not made with anything, like not a special yarn or anything. It's just the good old Spot Saver. No, in actual fact, it wasn't Spot Saver. This was a Millen's cake that I bought. As you can see, the colors in there, but it is the same weight as a Spot Saver. So that's what tricked me for a moment. So that was number 17. Now, number 18, what is the next pattern that you want to make? Well, this has been sitting here for the last couple of months, so it's definitely Pikachu out of this Pokemon crochet book. And here's Pikachu for those of you that may be familiar with who that is. There you go. There, he is such a sweetie. My son loves Pokemon. And when I saw this book, believe it or not, in the supermarket as I was walking to the checkout with my trolley, it caught my eye and I had to buy it. And that was about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So this has been sitting on the top of my to-do list now for a while. So this is definitely, if not the next, one of the next projects that I'm going to be making, because he's been very, very patient. And number 19, what is your best tip for beginners? Now, I think that I hesitated for some projects for a while, and some I just jumped in. So my answer, what is your best tip for beginners, is just give it a try. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Even when you make a mistake, that's okay, because that's how we learn. But imagine your delight and joy when you actually get it right the first time. and there is nothing stopping us but ourselves. So just go for it. Just give it a try. I just love that with crochet, you can just frog your work and start again. You haven't lost anything. And if you've cut some yarn up, you can always tie it back together. That's okay. And it's just an amazing craft that, you know, you can literally just give it a go. Just give it a try. And now number 20 asks us to tag someone to answer these questions. Now, a lot of you may have already answered these questions in your videos. Some of you may not have. So this is going to go out to everybody that would like to do it, because I certainly would love to hear your answers. But I am going to choose 3 yarny friends of mine and hopefully yours, and if you haven't met them yet, please go and do so. And the reason why I only chose 3 and I could have chosen 33 or more is because they're very, very new channels, and it'd be great exposure for them and for you to get to know them. And you know, it'd be nice for them to be welcomed even more into our yarny community, because I know that when I first started, you know, a year and a half ago, if it wasn't for all these amazing other yarny friends on YouTube that actually tagged me in quite a few things, you know, gave me shout outs, it was, you know, it would have been impossible to get to meet you all. So this is why I've chosen our friend Mads over at Grey and Crochet, Sally from Nanny Moon's Crochet, and Michelle at Michelle's Makery. So if you guys want to join in and participate, please do so. I would love to hang out with you and hear your answers. If you've already made a video that's similar, put it down in the comments down below so we can go and watch it. So apologies if I've missed one. I definitely don't want to miss out on anything. So, and also, like I said, if anyone else wants to join in, please do not hesitate. So that's it, guys. My 20 questions answered, all crochet related. I hope that gave you a little bit of entertainment. I certainly had fun gathering the answers together, and I really love having the props. So I hope you liked the props as well and they didn't take up too much of your time. So, you know, I hope you're all keeping well, and until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.